agriculture and allied sector. This is also one of the thrust areas of Union government's budget, which was presented last week. Revamping agriculture and allied sector is a key to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable livelihood in our state. State government is working on a mission mode to achieve the vision of our Prime Minister for doubling farmers' income by 2022. This will need large-scale revamping, reorientation, and innovation. We will try to take full benefit of the central schemes in this sector and make sustained efforts to achieve the targets. There is also a need to increase credit absorption capacity of the farmers. Our plan is to give the benefit of the government schemes to the landless and the marginalized farmers first, remove all types of intermediaries and implement these schemes by involving the self-help groups and farmers producers organizations. We aim to benefit at least 90,000 farmers by 2022. On the directions of Honorable Prime Minister, NITI Aayog has constituted a high-power committee of chief ministers for transformation of Indian agriculture, in which our Honorable Chief Minister Pema Khandu ji is the only member from the Northeast states. This clearly shows the importance of Honorable Prime Minister attaches to the development of the agriculture sector in our state and the Northeast as a whole. Last year, we had organized a conclave with the theme Perspective Planning for Resurgent Agriculture and Allied Sectors. We saw presence of more than 100 agriculture experts from across the country. The suggestions, strategies drawn from the conclave have evolved into important schemes in this year's budget. Arunachal Pradesh has about 25 lakh hectares of cultivable land, out of which 7 lakh hectares are fit for wet rice cultivation through flood irrigation and 18 lakh hectares through micro irrigation. As of now, only 3.5 lakh hectares are under cultivation, of which 52,000 hectares are under irrigation coverage. We plan to bring 7 lakh hectares more land under micro irrigation in near future with an estimated cost of rupees 17,712 crores under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. In this regard, we have submitted the plan to Government of India. We have submitted the plan to Government of India. We are expecting around rupees 500 crore this year under this scheme. Under the micro irrigation component of PM Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana, farmers have to bear 45% of the cost to avail the facilities of micro irrigation. This is a huge cost which our farmers find difficult to bear. This has led to poor utilization of the scheme. To make this scheme more viable and enhance micro irrigation in our state, we propose to give additional top-up subsidy of 35% over and above 10% given earlier. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 2.20 crore in this year. I propose to allocate an amount of 6 crore this year for preparation of a natural resource inventory for micro-level agriculture planning in 3 potential districts of Arunachal Pradesh, which will optimize food production by adopting remote sensing techniques. One of the major demands from the villages is to provide fencing materials for community lands to protect the valuable farm produce. We plan to cover MIDS schemes with Manregas, and this year we will be taking fencing farmland as a major activity under Manregas. Krishi Vigyan Kendras play a crucial role in disseminating latest knowledge and technology from laboratories to the farms. There are 16 Krishi Vigyan Kendras in our state which needs to be revamped as per the needs of the state. I propose to earmark a fund of rupees 1.550 crore for setting up agro-meteorological center in 3 KVKs in the state. Further, I propose to earmark rupees 1.5 crore to KVKs for taking up awareness, dissemination and demonstration of best agriculture practices on field to the farmers producers organization. Last year, the state government had launched 2 major schemes, Chief Minister Sashakt Kisan Yojana and Chief Minister's Krishi Samuh Yojana. Since it was a new initiative of the government, the first year was spent on framing guidelines and identifying critical activities to be taken up in the districts. Speaker Sir, under the Chief Minister Sashakt Kisan Yojana, district-level societies headed by deputy commissioners were formed and district-level agriculture plans were prepared covering agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry and fisheries sector. The schemes had subsumed 3 important schemes of the state government, which are Chief Minister's Agriculture Mechanization Scheme, Chief Minister's Mission Mode Project for tea and rubber cultivation, and double cropping schemes of rice, mustard, maize, etc. Under the Chief Minister's Agriculture Mechanization Schemes, we will be bringing substantial changes in the guidelines to ensure that only those equipments are purchased which are relevant for our areas. These schemes will work in convergence with micro-irrigation schemes, path drop, more crop, under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. We now propose to expand the coverage of CM Sashakt Kisan Yojana to include various horticulture crops. Accordingly, a fund provision of rupees 95.70 crore is proposed to be allocated for the Chief Minister's Sashakt Kisan Yojana. Under these schemes, we propose to introduce the following components this year. Cultivation of seasonal vegetable crops in temperate belt of Arunachal Pradesh, 6.25 crore. Pilot projects on cultivation of blueberry in Tawang and West Kameng district, rupees 0.45 crore. Import of planting materials from USA and European countries, rupees 1.5 crore. Area expansion program on kiwi, rupees 10 crore. Area expansion program on mandarin orange, rupees 10 crore. Area expansion program of pineapple, rupees 5 crore. Area expansion program of banana, rupees 5 crore. Area expansion program of arecanut with intercropping black pepper, rupees 7.5 crore. Area expansion program of large cardamom, rupees 5 crore. Area expansion program of apple, rupees 5 crore. Area expansion program of walnut, rupees 5 crore. Alternate livelihood for opium cultivation, rupees 10 crore. Thus, we have tried to cover all major crops under the horticulture and agriculture sector, whose cultivation will be taken up based upon agroclimatic conditions of the area. As a part of the mission for doubling farmers' income by 2022, the Union government has announced to set up 10,000 new farm produce organizations to ensure economic of scale of farmers over the next 5 years. We will cover the scheme with CM Krishi Samuh Yojana of the state government. Under Chief Minister's Krishi Samuh Yojana, farmers, producers, organization, livestock cooperative, fisheries and sericulture cooperatives were provided various subsidies and infrastructure support to strengthen agriculture marketing linkages. I propose to continue the scheme with an outlay of rupees 5 crore. One of the major bottlenecks in agriculture and allied sector in our state is lack of marketing. Last year, we had enacted Arunachal Pradesh Agriculture Produce and Livestock Marketing Act 2018. We now plan to build markets in our states which are linked with ENAM facilities so that our produce can be auctioned online. This will boost the income of our farmers and end the intermediaries. We propose to set up 4 wholesale Market cum auction center with e-NAM facilities from our own resources at Pasighat, Namsai, Kimin and Bhalakpur at a cost of rupees 20 crore. The project will be completed in 2 years. We have declared our state as organic. There is also need to certify such horticulture producers so that we are able to reap the benefit of organic produce. I propose to allocate rupees 2 crore for organic classification of our horticultural crops and link them with export promoters. In this year's Union Budget, Government of India has given a lot of focus on GI tagging. We will also be GI tag our agriculture produce in convergence with the corresponding schemes of Government of India. There is a need to promote processing plants in our state to make our produce marketable. There is a scheme under Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, Government of India to provide assistance for setting up primary processing unit up to rupees 50 lakhs. We plan to top up this same with additional 25% subsidy up to a maximum of rupees 25 lakh per primary processing unit. I propose to allocate rupees 2 crore in this financial year. We will be also setting up Research and Development Center for Kiwi at Jiro and Research and Development Center for Oranges at Roing. For this purpose, we propose to allocate rupees 2 crore each. Medicinal, herbal and aromatic plants have a huge scope in our state. We will enter into an agreement with Central Institute of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants and the Northeast Institute of Science and Technology for expansion of area under medicinal, herbal and aromatic plants. We will also be forming FPOs for cultivation of 2 to 3 dedicated crops, which will be selected after consultation with CMAP and NIST. I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for the same. I also propose to earmark rupees 10 crore for the construction of State Horticulture Research and Development and Bioresource Mission in the current financial year. We plan to complete the building in 2 years. Pig rearing is a popular and traditional occupation among the people of Arunachal Pradesh since time immemorial. Our state possesses a pig population of roughly 350,000, which ranks next to cattle. It is high time to emphasize on pig development program and framing a new pig propagation schemes with focus on superior breeds. Basing on this, we plan to introduce Arun pig development schemes to augment the productivity of pig and pork in our states. Under the scheme, sufficient funds will be kept for procurement of piglets of improved variety along with feeds and medicines for an initial period so as to encourage the breeders. The bottleneck for high-quality pig breeding lies in the availability of nutritious feed, for which maize and soybeans are critical components, and it will be ensured that supply of feeds is available to the breeders. To ensure that the beneficiaries are selected in a fair manner, we will be selecting beneficiaries from self-help groups trained under Arunachal State Rural Livelihood Mission and Farmers Producers Organization companies. 20% cost of the unit shall be 20% of the unit shall rupees 25 crore during the 20% of the cost of the unit shall be rupees 25 crore during this year. Our state has huge potential in dairy development. We are in talks with the National Dairy Development Board to tap this potential so that the dairy farmers' income is enhanced and the state gets plentiful of supply of milk. If implemented properly, this can increase farmers' income manifold with short span of time. An allocation of rupees 35 crore is proposed to be allocated under Chief Minister's White Revolution scheme to implement this same in 5 potential districts with West Kameng, East Siang, Lower Demang Valley, Namsai and Lohit. Government of India has launched a new program called Pradhan Mantri Sampada Yojana. in the recent union budget to address the critical gaps in the value chain like infrastructure, modernization, traceability, production, productivity, post-harvest management, etc. To reap the benefit of this scheme, we plan to start a program called Mukhyamantri Neel Kranti Abhiyan to enhance production and productivity of table fish and fish seeds. Under the mission, we plan to develop new ponds and tanks for exclusive aquaculture, revamp waterlogged areas, rejuvenate existing ponds, upgrade and remodel existing hatcheries, create nurseries and rearing spaces for seed rearing, and develop backyard ornamental fish farms. In a span of 3 years, we plan to double the table fish production in our state. For this year, I propose to allocate rupees 20 crore for this scheme. It has been observed that fishes are extremely vulnerable to environmental degradation, climate change, and overfishing. Therefore, to document and bring out a database for fish species available in the state, I propose to allocate rupees 10 lakh. The State Fisheries Department will also bring out legislation to control overfishing of traditional species and protocol regarding control of biopiracy with relation to local fish species. Deputy Speaker, sir, our state has a huge potential in sericulture which needs to be tapped systematically. There is a scheme of Government of India integrated large-scale dairy farming in Arunachal Pradesh and integrated large-scale muga farming in Arunachal Pradesh. There are systematic gaps in the two schemes which needs to be filled for enhancing the production. I propose to earmark 6.47 crore for assistance to the beneficiaries selected under the above schemes. We propose to upgrade the Sile government farm in East Siang district under the Sericulture Department, which I propose to allocate rupees 3.5 crore. A provision of rupees 10 crore is also proposed for terrace cultivation in order to discourage jhum cultivation, which is prevalent in our state. Our state also has huge scope in forest produce like broom and agar wood. We will declare both the products as agroforestry products so that farmers can cultivate and transport the same easily for commercial markets. Through all such interventions in the agriculture and allied sector, we will be able to reach out to more than 20,000 farmers this year. Further, to ensure that there are no leakages, we will be empanelling agencies to provide key raw materials like seeds, saplings, fishlings, feeds and fodder, etc., from which procurement shall be made. We will also be setting quality parameters against all such procurement, which will be constantly monitored. Beneficiary selection will also be done in a transparent manner, giving equal importance to small and marginal farmers on one side and progressive farmers, self-help group, farmers producers organization on the other. We will also ensure that there is no duplicity in beneficiary selection. Deputy Commissioner shall be the focal point in monitoring the CM flagship schemes. Providing quality health care continues to be a big challenge for our states. The major problems include lack of doctors, specialists, problem of remoteness and connectivity, old and obsolete infrastructure, etc. Lot of space were taken by our government in the last 2.5 years. We had increased the post of doctors and specialists considerably and focused on giving time-bound promotion to doctors. The posting policy of district medical officers was rationalized by basing it on seniority. A new drug procurement policy was put in place in which long-term contracts were entered into with public sector drugs companies for ensuring quality and reliability of supply of medicines. Yojana which gives medical coverage of rupees 5 lakhs per family per year. The scheme was conversed with Government of India's Ayushman Bharat insurance scheme for better administration and common facilities. Till today, schemes has enrolled almost half the numbers of the families in the state and is being availed by a large number of people. It is proposed to allocate rupees 25 crore as grants in aid in Chief Minister's Arogya Arunachal Yojana Society for running these schemes. For decentralizing the procurement of medicines and consumables at the district level and for providing flexibility of expenditure according to the felt need of the district, Mukhyamantri Rogi Kalyan course was started last year. Under this scheme, funds are made available to the district in a flexible pattern of allocation for needs such as purchase of drugs and consumables, minor repairs of health facilities, hiring of specialists, etc. This year, it is proposed to make an allocation of rupees 30 crore under this scheme. Speaker sir, Dreams Medical College and Hospital is the maiden medical college in the state. The initial funds received from the Government of India for upgradation of hospital and construction of medical colleges were not sufficient, and the state government has been providing funds for capital works in the form of gap funding for carrying the projects forward. Grants in aid is also been provided to Dreams Society for its revenue expenditure, including payment of salary, etc. This year, it is proposed to provide gap funding of rupees 90 crore and rupees 40 crore as grants in aid for smooth running of the hospital and medical colleges. The Dreams Hospital is also only tertiary level institution in the state which provides super specialist services to its population. It also acts as center of training and for providing experts consultative services to our hospitals through telemedicine methods, etc. There is a need to establish specialized units such as trauma care unit, cardiac care unit, etc. For purchase of specialist equipment, it is proposed to provide further grants in aid of rupees 50 crore for Dreams Society this year. Apart from Dreams, hospitals in other parts of the state are also need to be upgraded for providing satisfactory secondary level health care and critical facilities such as trauma care and cardiac care. 5 district hospitals which Alo, Teju, Khonsa, Bomdila and Jiro were notified as general hospitals, but the actual upgradation of infrastructure did not occur in a significant way. It is now proposed to allocate rupees 25 crore this year for upgradation and strengthening of these general hospitals. The capital city of Itanagar does not have any government hospital, which creates great hardship for its citizens. Itanagar is also frequently visited by VIPs for which proper hospital and emergency care services are required. It is proposed to start a 200-bedded hospital with emphasis on maternal, child health care and ophthalmology services at Itanagar, and the same will also function as eye center of Dreams College. It is proposed to earmark rupees 10 crore initially for the project this year. The incidence of mental illness in the state are significant, and this leads to unhappy consequences such as suicides. The existing mental health facilities in the state are inadequate. To tackle this issue, it is proposed to start a new scheme, Mukhyamantri Manasik Swasth Yojana, under which a society will be formed for administering the mental health services in the state. This will provide flexibility in hiring the specialists such as clinical psychologists, behavioral psychologists without resorting to regular employment. It is also proposed to develop and upgrade the existing mental health facilities at Midpur and in the district under the supervision of the society. and fund of rupees 10 crore is proposed to be allocated for this purpose. Due to remoteness of towns and villages in the state, a strong and well-functioning ambulance network is essential for saving life. This is especially important for cardiac and trauma cases. It is proposed to allocate rupees 3 crore for establishing network of advanced life service and basic life service in the state. This fleet will form part of 1,022 emergency services which are being developed by the police department. To overcome remoteness and lack of connectivity, we plan to introduce the telemedicine services in our state. Teleradiology has already been started between BPGA's Pasighat and TRIMS Naharlagan, whereby the CT scans from BPGAs are being reported to radiologists in TRIM hospitals. Telemedicine is another viable option for providing specialist-level consultation to any health facilities which has reliable connectivity. The system will operate in hub and spoke model with TRIMS as the center having connections with various general hospitals, district hospital and CSCs. It is proposed to allocate rupees 3 crore for development of telemedicine and teleradiology system in the state. Indian Medical Association Untitled Chapter is a commendable service in our state. We need to strengthen the institution for which we propose to allocate rupees 3 crore for establishment of IMA House Arunachal Chapter. Thus, our government emphasizes heavily on improving the healthcare system of our state. We will pull all efforts to ensure that quality and affordable healthcare services are provided to the citizens of our state. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Union government in its recent budget has given the slogan for empowerment of women as Nari to Narayani. We fully endorse this slogan, which since women play a crucial role in overall development of society. They are primary caretakers of children and elders and play a key role in supporting households and communities in achieving food and nutrition society, generating income and improving rural livelihood and overall well-being. We will leave no stone unturned in the field of gender equality and related welfare activities for women and girls in our state. One of the major demands of the Women Welfare Society is to construct destitute homes and working women hostels. We plan to complete the construction of working women hostel cum destitute home in Itanagar at a cost of rupees 739 lakh in 2 years. I propose to allocate rupees 4 crore this year for this purpose. We are giving utmost importance to matters related to juvenile justice. Act 2015 that came into force from 15 January 2016. Our state has witnessed an increasing trend of juvenile delinquency. We need to provide them congenial atmosphere where they can get the right direction and counseling to integrate with our society. I propose to continue the scheme of juvenile home announced during the last year at Changlang and Upia and allocate rupees 6 crore for the same. There has been a rise in the number of children with special needs in the state. Children who suffer from physical, developmental, behavioral and sensory impairment, including cerebral palsy, do not have access to required care and facility that needs extra support from the state. Many of them then end up being abused physically, psychologically or sexually. We propose to earmark a fund of rupees 50 lakhs for medical care of children who require special treatment. Oju Welfare Association is doing a commendable service in our state by providing care to women and children in distress from across the state. in Naharlagan. We need to promote such institutions who are working in the field of gender empowerment and protection of child rights. I propose to provide a corpus fund of ₹1 crore to Oju Welfare Association for the same. We will also be establishing Arunachal Pradesh State Commission for Child Rights this year, which will work as an independent entity to check the rise in crime against children and also ensure and enabling the healthy environment for children in general. Rural women in our state have great desire to tour other states in the northeast and mainland states in order to have an understanding of the culture and tradition of people living in various parts of the country. We will also help them to understand and learn the best practices in agricultural and small-scale and cottage industry sector and replicate it in our state. An amount of ₹50 lakhs is proposed to be earmarked for the same. Till now, maternity and child care leave were given only to regular government employees in Arunachal. We have now decided to extend maternity leave and child care leave benefits to female contingency and contractual staff by giving 180 days of maternal and 60 days of child care leave. This will benefit more than 20,000 female contractual and contingency workers. Under the Dulhari Kanya Yojana, Women and Child Development Department has been making a fixed deposit of ₹20,000 for institutional delivery of a girl child, which will be used to fund her higher studies on attaining the age of 18 years. This program is now being administered by the Health Department and a budget allocation of ₹4 crore is proposed for this scheme. Our state is witnessing a high rise in criminal activities due to drugs, alcohol addiction among the local. This menace needs to be taken care at the earliest. We need to establish a rehabilitation center at Itanagar and run it by involving multiple stakeholders like Health Department, Women and Child Development Department, and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Department. We plan to establish a state-of-the-art drug rehabilitation center in the state capital at a cost of ₹10 crore in 2 years. For this purpose, I propose to allocate ₹5 crore in the current year to Health Department. In this regard, we plan to involve reputed NGOs like Mother's Vision, Oju Welfare Mission, Brahma Kumari, Ishwarya, Vishwavidyalaya, etc., who are working for the betterment of the society. I also propose to take up the awareness program for students and parents on drug-related issues through education department by involving the above NGOs, for which an amount of 50 lakhs has been earmarked. Section 11A of Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017 clearly mentions that creche facilities is mandatory for every establishment employing 50 or more employees. We are aware of the hardship that working mothers face due to lack of any creche facilities in the offices. To begin with, this year we are going to provide creche facility in the civil secretariat for the convenience of working mothers. Further, we will set up creche facilities in all government offices which have more than 50 employees. It shall be the responsibility of the Deputy Commissioners to ensure the provisions of the aforesaid Act. The role of Arunachal Pradesh State Commission of Women has become very important in bringing gender parity in the state. I propose to allocate ₹1 crore as grants in aid to the commission this year. Arunachal Pradesh Women Welfare Society is also doing a commendable service in promoting gender equality and fighting for crime against women. We need to promote this society for taking lead role to bring gender empowerment in our state. I propose to allocate a sum of ₹1 crore as corpus fund for this society. To reduce inequality in the state, we will ensure that in all the benefit schemes, at least 50% of the beneficiaries are widows, marginal farmers, self-help group, farmers, producers, organization, and families having annual income less than rupees 2.5 lakhs. Under the Chief Minister's Social Security schemes, the pension being given under various schemes, central schemes was massively increased. In 2018, our government enhanced the pension of old age pensioners and widow to 1,500 per person between the age of 60 to 79 and rupees 2,000 for those aged 80 and above. Similarly, for pensions with disability, the pension was increased to rupees 2,000 from the earlier amount of rupees 200 to rupees 500. I propose to continue this scheme and earmark an outlay of rupees 83 crore against the central government allocation of rupees 15 crore. The Purohit community has been historically marginalized and needs assistance for achieving a life of dignity. It is important to create income generation opportunities for the members of Purohit community, and I propose to allocate a sum of 5 crore to the Purohit Welfare Board for livelihood opportunity. There are 46 border blocks in our state which are covered under BADP. The remaining assembly constituencies which are not covered under BADP were given allocation for priority development works during the last finals. I propose to continue the scheme this year with an allocation of rupees 35 crore. Niti Aayog has identified Namsai as an aspiration district in our state government of India is regularly monitoring the performance. Niti Aayog has identified Namsai as an aspirational district, and our state government is regularly monitoring the performance of this district on all developmental parameters. We are proud to share that the February-March 2019 ranking, Namsai district has secured first rank in education sector on all basis of incremental progress in the entire country. Niti Aayog mandates that aspirations district must be provided with sufficient untied funds so that the district administration can take up the innovative activities. I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore as untied fund to the aspirational district. This fund shall be utilized by Deputy Commissioner on innovative and useful projects. Every year we allocate rupees 50 crore in DOTCL region over and above the normal activity of the government due to the backwardness of the region. This year, we plan to bring out proper guidelines for implementation of the schemes so that it covers the basic gaps in the health and education sector of the region. Our state has few pockets which require special focus as they have been historically neglected. One such area is Vijayanagar. The area is of strategic importance, but remain devoid of development activities since independence due to remoteness. We plan to construct a helipad at Gandhigram, upgrade the water supply and electricity infrastructure in the region, for which an allocation of rupees 5 crore is proposed. Community-based organization and forums plays a crucial role in maintaining social harmony and preserving tribal traditions in our society. We need to strengthen such CBOs which are working for our greater welfare and of the society. I propose to earmark rupees 10 crore in the Department of Indigenous Affairs for providing corpus fund to apex bodies of the community-based organizing. Department of Indigenous Affairs shall formulate the guideline for the same. Last year, we had announced a scheme to establish tribal cultural center in each district. We had received proposals from around 18 districts. Many of the districts have performed very well under these schemes. Looking at the performance, I propose to allocate rupees 20 crore this year. The focus of our government is to provide equitable quality education so that we can promote lifelong learning opportunities among the people. We all know that education is a force multiple which enables self-reliance, boosts economic growth by enhancing skills and improve people's lives by opening up opportunities for better livelihood. Looking at the poor pupil-teacher ratio, especially in subject streams, our government has created 1,100 teachers posts in education department during the last 2 years. Roughly 625 posts are in APPCS SC awaiting recruitment. Once these posts are filled up, we are sure that the result of the school education will improve considerably in our state. We will also be regularizing roughly 400 RMSA teachers this year. Apart from this, we will create more regular posts for regularizing RMSA teachers under integrated scheme for school education in phased manner starting from coming year. Last year, we had launched Chief Minister's Samas Shiksha Yojana to focus on decentralized planning under the direct supervision of Deputy Commissioners. Considerable time and energy has been invested for making guidelines and other groundwork. We have been able to achieve much success in the scheme. This year, we will be continuing with the scheme for which an outlay of rupees 52 crore is proposed. This amount will be enhanced as and when progress is made at ground level. Another important scheme launched during the last year was Chief Minister's Adhunik Pathshala Yojana. The scheme had two major components: to provide smart classroom in 717 schools in the state and to make one model residential school in each district where the meritorious students would be admitted and taught by teachers of high competence using modern teaching methods. I propose to allocate rupees 8 crore this year for strengthening of model schools. Last year we had launched Dronacharya Gurukul Yojana, where meritorious students in class 6 and class 9 were given scholarship. Similarly, our counseling facilities, career counseling facilities and stipend of rupees 5,000 per month was given to science students studying outside the state. Under the schemes, 460 meritorious students were given laptop to encourage them in the field of science. We will be continuing with the scheme with an allocation of rupees 2 crore. School uniform is very important part of school education. Wearing uniform by students bring a lot of potential benefits, and it can promote school safety, improve discipline, enhance the learning environment, and reduce peer pressure. It brings a feeling of belongingness and comradeship in the students. It also improves the learning atmosphere in the schools. School uniform for class 1 to 8 is being provided free of cost under integrated scheme for school education. However, it does not provide shoes, belts, tie, sweater. Further, classes 9 to class 12, students do not get any allowance for school uniform. Thus, we have decided to provide rupees 1,000 annually for elementary school students and rupees 2,500 annually for class 9 to class 12 students in DBT mode for purchase of school uniforms. Accordingly, I propose to allocate rupees 33.75 crore in this year's budget. There is a huge scope of improvement of school infrastructure as a majority of our buildings are from old NEFA days. We will be making a comprehensive 5-year plan to upgrade such schools in phase-wise manner. I propose to allocate an amount of rupees 30 crore for the development infrastructure of government schools during the current financial year. National Cadet Corps plays a very important role in character building and bringing discipline among the students. In order to impart NCC training for nation building, I propose to set up NCC Academy in our state. For this purpose, we will be providing rupees 25 crore over a period of 3 years. I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore in the current financial year for establishing NCC Academy in Itanagar Capital Complex. There are 9,762 NCC cadets in the state. 50% of the NCC cadets are provided uniform by government. I propose to provide uniform for the rest of the NCC cadets and earmark a sum of rupees 1 crore for this purpose. There is a need to strengthen the institution of school principal in our state. Most of them are not even having durable computers and printers in their offices. We plan to provide laptop, printers and scanners in each school for official purposes. I propose to allocate rupees 1.3 crore for this purpose. Due to our massive efforts, Government of India was kind enough to sanction one Sainik school in our state. Last year, the lone Sainik school had started functioning. The estimated amount to develop the infrastructure of the school is rupees 80 crore. Out of the same, we had got rupees 20 crore sanctioned under NESIS scheme of Ministry of Donor, Government of India. We are looking for funding the balance amount from various other sources. I propose to allocate rupees 20 crore from the state budget for the Sainik school, out of which rupees 10 crore is earmarked this year. To ensure uninterrupted power supply, we plan to provide solar rooftop panels of 3 kilowatt each in all secondary schools and higher secondary schools in our state. For this purpose, APEDA will obtain 50% subsidy from Government of India. We will also provide LED bulbs to such schools. I propose to earmark 4 crore to carry out the schemes. We will be carrying out ranking of all upper primary, secondary and higher secondary school with parameters such as academic performances, infrastructure, attendance and teacher staff, as well as students, parents, teacher meetings, co-curricular activities, cleanliness to school, etc. in our state. The best performing school will also be rewarded with cash reward. For this purpose, I have proposed to allocate rupees 50 lakhs this year. This year we will make health cards for all students studying in government schools under Rashtriya Bal Swasth Karyakram for preventive health care and ensure quality health services and provided to our students. In Itanagar, we have carried out an agreement with Akshay Patra to run midday meal schemes for hot cooked meals on a centralized kitchen model. Similarly, centralized kitchen at Pasighat will be set up by Education Department. In case this scheme is successful, we'll replicate the model across the entire state. We'll be continuing with the scheme of providing scholarship for meritorious students who seek coaching for civil service examination in our state. For this purpose, I propose to earmark rupees 1 crore. The girl hygiene schemes to provide sanitary napkins for adolescent girls. Students will be carried out this year too on DBT mode with an allocation of rupees 2 crore. We will also be continuing with the Chief Minister Vidya schemes for which an amount of rupees 5 crore is proposed to be allocated. Our government has completely streamlined the process of procurement of textbooks from last year. This year also we have procured textbooks directly from NCERT, and I am happy to inform that majority of the districts have got new textbook before the start of the academic. State government is committed to provide assistance to the reputed NGO social service organizations working in the field of education sector. During the course of consultation with community-based organizations, it came out that there is a need to impart our traditional tribal dialect to the young children so that we remain connected to our ethnic roots. The dialect of Nishi, Adi, Galo, Apatani tribes have been captured through modified Roman scripts, while certain tribes like Monpa, Hamti, Memba, etc. have their own scripts. The languages which have their own notified scripts should be promoted in school by appointing language teachers at the earliest. The dialect whose scripts are not finalized also require technical assistance for their official notification. This year we will form a high-power committee comprising of Minister of Education, Secretary Research, concerned CBOs and members from RGU to finalize the modified Roman script developed by the community. We will also extend support to the communities who wish to develop their scripts. For this purpose, I propose to allocate a sum of rupees 3.5 crore this year. We realize the importance of official language Hindi, and there is a need to promote it. For this, an outlay of rupees 1 crore is proposed to be earmarked under which seminars, dramas, and competitions for popularizing in the Hindi language will be conducted across the state. To improve the human resource management system in education department, we launched an online human resource management system for teachers. All the service books, transfer leaves, etc. of the teachers will be done through this system only. Education department shall launch the system within this year. I also propose to allocate an amount of rupees 1.5 crore this year from the normal fund of education department to exposure visits of selected officers to foreign countries and training of principal and teachers of colleges at IIM Ahmedabad, IISc and IIT, etc. There is a dearth of students from our state studying in premier engineering colleges like IITs, NITs, etc. However, we have lots of brilliant science students who require special coaching facilities. We need to catch them young so that they can be trained for pursuing career in these top-notch colleges. We propose to send our meritorious students from class 11 onwards for IIT coaching outside the state. I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for this purpose. There is a need to strengthen State Council for Education, Research and Training in our state. Government of India is providing sufficient fund for development of infrastructure or SCRT. We will revamp SCRT by increasing the number of sanctioned posts this year so that teachers' training and education research are given due importance. There is a need to promote interest of our students in agriculture and allied activities as it is the mainstay of livelihood in our state. Sikkim SCRT has developed a curriculum on organic farming wherein students of class 9 to class 12 are given hands-on training on organic farming in their schools. Under ISSCE, we are establishing kitchen gardens in all schools. We will be tying up with the Sikkim SCRT and Krishi Vigyan Kendras to develop organic farming modules for school students in our state. I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore this year. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this year I propose to allocate rupees 7 crore for the infrastructure development of Arunachal State University at Pasighat. Further, to make the university functional, there is a need to sanction various posts for the university. We will sanction the posts required for running the university and put all our efforts to make the university functional by the end of this financial year. Many girl students in colleges face accommodation issues in our state. There is an acute shortage of girls' hostel in JNC Pasighat, DNGC College, Itanagar, and Government Model College, Basar. Thus, an amount of rupees 9 crore for construction of girls' hostel in 3 colleges is required. In the 3 colleges is required over a period of 3 years. I propose to allocate rupees 3 crore. 1 crore is for 3 girls' hostel this year. For infrastructure development of Government Polytechnic 0, I propose to allocate rupees 2 crore this year. The first women government college, Biniyanga Government Women College, Poma, was established in 2014-15 and started temporarily in Urban Development Department building at Lekhi village, Naharlagan. The land for the permanent site has been acquired at Poma village near Itanagar. We will construct the permanent academic building for the college at the cost of rupees 5 crore over a period of 2 years. This year I propose rupees 2 crore to start the construction. Rajiv Gandhi University is the premier institution of higher education in our state. Our government is making all the endeavors to provide holistic education to the youth of the state. This premier institution houses significant number of youth pursuing higher education, and therefore I propose to allocate a sum of rupees 3 crore for establishing a student activity center in Rajiv Gandhi University. There has been a long pending demand of RGU regarding settlement of the pension issue of its employees. I propose to allocate an amount of rupees 8.40 crore during this year as grants in aid to RGU for settlement of pension schemes. Last year we had announced a new schemes under Skill Development Department by the name Chief Minister Yuva Kaushal Yojana. The scheme provided high-end training to our youth, both within the state and outside. The objective was to place them in respectable organizations where they can earn the desired income. We plan to continue with the scheme this year and propose to allocate rupees 10 crore in this financial year. The Government of India has also launched an ambitious scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, to provide skill development and ensure procurement placement to the unemployed youth. We aim to train approximately 11,000 youth under this scheme this year. Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushalya Yojana program is also sub-component of Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission, which focus on giving skill development training to rural youth. Under DDU GKY placement links, skill development is being provided by selected project implementing agencies. Last year we had kept a target to train 650 beneficiaries. This year we plan to train 3,000 beneficiaries with assured placement of at least 70% of the trainees. Last year, a memorandum of understanding was entered into with the State Bank of India, whereby the bank agreed to sanction the loans under Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Swalamban Yojana to entrepreneurs of Arunachal Pradesh who wish to set up small and medium enterprises with a loan of project cost of rupees 10 lakh to rupees 50 lakhs in key sectors. We have done a memorandum of understanding with SBI in this. Further, we have simplified the guidelines and made subsidy front-ended. We are sure that this scheme will yield result in coming year. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 10 crore. This amount will be further enhanced depending upon the progress of this scheme. For the tourism industry to grow in the state, steady supply of professional hands are necessary. I propose an allocation of rupees 35 lakhs under Chief Minister's Paryatan Shiksha Yojana 1 to sponsor 8 students of the state for taking up ESC, SNC for 3 years degree course in prestigious institute recognized by Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. I also propose to sponsor diploma course for 1.5 year diploma course in 5 demand-driven categories for 25 students being offered by Food Craft Institute, Nagaon, Assam, which is affiliated with National Council for Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Noida, under the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, under Chief Minister's Paryatan Shiksha Yojana 2, by earmarking an amount of Rs 25 lakhs. Channeling the youth energy into a positive outcome can be achieved by establishment of whitewater guide training center, aqua adventure center in various major rivers basins, Kameng, Siang, Dibang, Lohit and Subansiri of Arunachal Pradesh. This will implement the tourism needs of the state by providing professional hands in handling rafting related schemes, related activities as per the guidelines of National Rafting Federation of State Association and State Association. I propose to allocate a sum of 10 crore for the same. We plan to start new scholarship scheme of Chief Minister's Skill Advanced Certificate course to potential unemployed youth at National Institute for Mountaineering and Allied Sports, NIMAS, Dirang, in river guides, trekking guides, lifeguards, paragliding, mountain terrain, biking with a budget allocation of Rs 75 lakhs for 250 beneficiaries. This year also we will continue with the CM's First Silk Yojana to promote premium and niche handicraft production of exportable items of modern concept of design with introduction of modern technology by providing training to unemployed youth under handloom, handicrafts and weaving sector, for which an allocation of 1.8 crore is proposed in the budget. The people of Tirap, Changlang and Longding region, West Kameng and Tawang, are expert in wood carving. If proper training and financial support is provided to them in the professional manner, their products can earn handsome revenue. I propose to earmark a sum of Rs 2 crore as a financial grant for traditional wood crafts in the state, to ensure that our artists get adequate training for developing finished products. We will hold design training in partnership with NID Ahmedabad, for which amount of 1 crore is proposed. There are a lot of youths who are pursuing career in fine arts. However, there is no policy of the government to encourage such youth. We will also bring a fine arts policy, as it has a huge scope of development in our state. We will also be bringing out Arunachal Pradesh Industrial Policy 2019 this year, which will focus on micro, small and medium enterprises. We will provide not only the financial support but also technical and training support to such youth who wish to open enterprises. For this purpose, I propose to allocate 10 crore for the implementation of industrial policy. We will also be working on wine policy to provide subsidies to the distilleries producing wine from horticulture produce in our state. Under the industry department, we also kept a provision of Rs 3 crore for external infrastructure development of industrial estate stock and Rs 1 crore for engagement of consultants for identification of new potential industrial estate. Apart from this, we have increased our allocation in agriculture and allied sector considerably this year with an aim to boost employment in the primary sector. We are also putting focus on promoting film tourism in our state, which has the potential to create good numbers of jobs in our state. We are committed to provide gainful employment to our unemployed youth. Our state has a huge potential in sports sector. Due to hilly terrain, our youth have inherent stamina which, if harnessed properly, can produce world-class sports person in our society. Further, sports is very important medium to channelize energy of our youth in the right direction. To boost up the sportsmanship spirits among the state government employees, we have initiated initiative increment to meritorious sports person, including the coaches. Last year, we had announced to set up one sports academy in the TCL region. A temporary site was chosen in Miao to start this session last year itself. We plan to identify the permanent site this year in TCL region, for which I propose to allocate Rs 5 crore. I am delighted to share among the House that the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India has announced to set up Center of Excellence in 3 sports disciplines, which are boxing, weightlifting, and martial arts in our state. Martial arts will cover karate, judo, wushu, and taekwondo. Each Center of Excellence will have 100 capacity residential schools which will set up in Sanghe Laden Sports Academy. With the sustained efforts of Government of India and state government, we are hopeful to produce world-class sports player in the near future. Youth are the key players in the process of development and serve as backbone of the society. State government gives great emphasis to the welfare of the youth and will take all possible steps to boost youth activities in the state. This year, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, in collaboration with state government, will host Northeast Youth Festival in our state. The festival will act as an integration camp on a mega scale and provide opportunity to youth of the Northeast in connecting with each other and showcase the cultural heritage. An amount of 1.5 crore is being proposed for this purpose. Our government is committed to provide sports right from the grassroots level. We will also approach Government of India to provide sufficient funds for augmenting sports infrastructure in our region. Arunachal Pradesh is considered to be a tourist paradise. However, the sector in the state is still at a nascent stage as majority of the tourist sites lack basic infrastructure. There are many places in the state which are good for adventure tourism like river rafting, rock climbing, angling, paragliding, etc., which needs to be documented and developed. Mass tourism is not an objective for our state, but we need to showcase the pristine natural beauty of our state, including the rich biodiversity, the rare species of flora and fauna, which sets it apart from any other destination in it. Each district has tourism society headed by Deputy Commissioner, and last year 8 districts were provided 50 lakh each. Now I propose to provide rupees 50 lakh each to the tourism society of East Kameng, Papumpare, Namsai, Siyomi, Upper Siang, Lower Siang, Upper Subansiri, and Tira. These societies will create an integrated framework of tourism involving tour operators, homestays, tourist guides, tourist information center, and creation of ecotourism infrastructure. For this, I propose a fund provision of rupees 4 crore. A new scheme, namely Chief Minister's Paryatan Vikas Yojana, with an allocation of rupees 5 crore for 100 beneficiaries, is proposed to be introduced from the current financial year with a view to augment the tourism trade in the state by giving financial assistance by way of subsidies for homestays. This will be utilized by the homestay operators for value addition as an add-on to existing infrastructure, renovation of the home to provide basic comfort amidst the pristine ambience. Arunachal Pradesh, by virtue of its natural science, scenic beauty, attracts filmmakers for shooting of films, TV series, etc. One opportunity that presents itself before Arunachal Pradesh to take up innovation tourism activity is in the area of film tourism. The state of Arunachal Pradesh has rich variety of locations which can become attractive for outdoor film shooting. I propose to earmark a sum of rupees 2 crore for implementation of film tourism in the state. To realize the tourism sector potential for generating revenue and employment, we had announced credit-linked capital subsidy schemes to support genuine entrepreneurs engaged in developing infrastructure for the sector last year. I propose to continue this scheme with an allocation of rupees 5 crore this year. Our state celebrates lots of local festivals out of which few has earmarked their name on national bed, like Tawang Festival, Zero Festival of Music, Dambuk Orange Festival, Adventure at Mesuka, Buddha Mochaba, Siang Ras, etc. Looking at the pristine beauty of tourist sites and multifarious culture of our state, we have the potential to make a name in global tourism platform. Nagaland has made a name in tourism sector by its famous Hornbill Festival. We aim to introduce a pan-Arunachal festival showcasing our diverse culture as well as natural pristine beauty, which can become the hallmark of our state's tourism projection. We will be having multiple stakeholders consultation before finalizing the concept of this important festival. I propose to earmark ₹2 crore this year for concept design, survey and investigation of the festival. The multi-purpose cultural complex, which is located at the vicinity of the sports stadium at Pasighat, is going to be very important asset and will immensely help us during the cultural tourism events in coming years. For completion of this multi-purpose cultural complex with other amenities at Pasighat, I propose to allocate ₹3 crore during this year. Itanagar, as a capital city of our state, needs to have more tourist places. It should have a center which showcases the traditional handicraft as well as culture of the state. We envisage developing Arunachal Haat in Itanagar on the lines of Delhi Haat, where tourists can enjoy the traditional food, purchase traditional handicraft, and also have glimpse of the local culture. After creating basic infrastructure, we will lease out the shops to genuine local entrepreneurs. For this purpose, I propose to allocate ₹10 crore. We all have to realize the fact that our state has to if our state has to progress, we need to build realistic infrastructure which promotes inclusiveness in society and leads to sustainable industrialization in our state. We need to adopt a comprehensive approach for building all kinds of communication infrastructure, roadways, railways, airways, waterways, and internetways in our state. Further, we must constantly try to use better and new technologies for building resilient infrastructure.
11:15 there is 11:10. 15.
Road connectivity in particular is a key ingredient for the development of the state. State PWD has 8,731 kilometers of roads out of the total length of 21,352.42 kilometers of roads in the state. Our road density is 25.5 kilometers, 50 kilometers per 100 square meter against the national average of 170 kilometers per 100 square kilometer as on 2015-16. This indicates the state has a huge backlog in road communication infrastructure. Hence, I propose to complete reformation in the process of planning and development of all roads under Public Works Department. Under a 5-year road plan, as the Chief Minister's Comprehensive State Road Plan 2019-2024. In the 5-year plan for road improvement from 2019 to 2024, the Public Works Department will upgrade 3,446 kilometers of road. In doing so, we will improve 150 kilometers of capital complex road, upgrade important interstate and inter-district roads to the specification of state highways. All the arterial road district headquarters, all ADC headquarters shall be connected by major district road category, and majority of the ADC CO headquarters shall be connected by all other district road category. We plan a total investment of rupees 4,000 crore in this scheme. We will try to converge funds from both central and state government schemes to achieve the same. In this first year, we will be focusing on developing detailed project reports and the phasing of the proposed projects. We will also kickstart the scheme in some key parts of the state. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 100 crore this year. For the proper and efficient timely deliverance, funds under Central Road Fund (CRF) shall only be used for development of state highways and major district roads in the state. The fund under Northeast Special Infrastructure Scheme (NESIT) shall only be used for development of roads listed in the plan leading to tourist destination, and funds under Rural Infrastructure Development Fund (RIDF) to the roads listed in the plan catering to the marketing of agriculture and horticulture produces in the state. We will also bring out a comprehensive state road maintenance policy for effective maintenance of improved roads and other roads, so that the roads in the state remains worthy of traffic all around the years. We will bring out Building Infrastructure Development Plan 2019, as most of the government buildings have outlived the economical span of life and require replacement for accommodating the government employees in the state. We will inform the planning and development. We will reform the planning for development building infrastructure for the state and come up with master plan creating residential and non-residential accommodation for the government employees and office. Considering the increasing number of infrastructure and building projects being carried out in the state, there is a need for a separate department, architecture, which can advise all the works department for designing of infrastructure and standardization of designs. I propose to establish a separate department of architecture and allocate rupees 2 crore for this purpose in the current financial year. The National Flagship Program Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana implemented in the state from the year 2000. This is a very important scheme to link unconnected villages with the mainstream in a phase-wise manner. Under this scheme, till date, we have covered 1,099 habitations with a road length of 7,900 kilometers. This year, we plan to cover 204 such unconnected habitations having 3,500 kilometers as an estimated cost of rupees 1,200 crore. Huge assets have been created under PMGSY programs which require sizable resources to maintain such roads. We propose to allocate 30 crore for repair and maintenance of PMGSY roads. Under the PMGSY, habitation having population of more than 250 are being connected. Our state has more than 1,000 villages having population less than 250, which are still unconnected with the mainstream. We will pursue the government of India to build roads in such habitations in a phase-wise manner under PMGSY Phase 3. Our government plans to come up with the jute geotextiles with vegetation program in the state on pilot basis, which is economically viable and eco-friendly for erosion control and slope stabilization along the hill slopes of roads and highways, settlement areas, agricultural field, water bodies, etc. Therefore, an outlay of rupees 1 crore only is proposed for pilot project under Papumpare district. We plan to utilize an innovative technology and use waste plastic for construction of bituminous roads on pilot project basis. I propose to keep a provision of rupees 1.4 crore for this purpose. There are many key institutions in our state like State Human Rights Commission, Lok Ayukta, Arunachal Pradesh State Commission for Women, Information Commission, etc., who are not having their offices in the state. Construction of a common complex for all the directorates have been a long pending demands of the government employees working in various directorates. We plan to establish all such institutions in one common complex. We have a sizable chunk of land in Pachin Colony which will station the proposed directorate complex along with offices of independent commission. For this purpose, I propose to allocate an amount of rupees 25 crore this year. With the rapid growth on infrastructure and vagaries of climate change in our region, we need to ensure that it is sustainable so that our future generations are secure. We also need to be prepared for any kind of disaster in our state. Proper communication and quick dissemination of information is utmost importance when it comes in managing disasters. To strengthen the present State Emergency Response Center and Disaster Emergency Operations Center, I propose to establish 3 zones with Eastern, Central and Western AP with station at Teju, Pasighat and Bombdila respectively. We will station a team of SDRF with essential equipment in those centers for reducing the area responsibility for each SDRF team and making most part of the state easily accessible to them for quick response. I propose to allocate a sum of rupees 4 crore to procure equipment for research rescue under the Disaster Management Department. We aim to make our cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Urbanization is inevitable due to rapid social and economic development. Our government is committed to ensure that the towns become proper growth center of the state and provide large number of jobs to the people who are coming to cities and at the same time ensuring healthy environment of the town. We will be engaging renowned architects who are experts in designing hill stations for making comprehensive plan for important townships in our state. The most important activity under the urban development sector is ensuring proper waste management. First and the foremost step is solid waste management, is identification of landfill sites. Thereafter, there is a need to collect, segregate and transport the waste for final disposal. Thus, we plan to procure trucks, JCBs, other sanitation equipments, acquire landfill sites, etc. for strengthening door-to-door waste collection. I propose to allocate rupees 35 crore for this purpose. All the procurement shall be made from GEM portal. I also propose to allocate rupees 15 crore to Urban Development Department for collection and segregation of waste in all urban townships. For Itanagar and Pasighat Municipal Council, I propose to allocate rupees 3 crore for procurement of trucks, JCBs and other sanitation equipment. There is an urgent need to augment waste management system in the capital company. We need to identify landfill sites which are away from the habitat so that there is not a health hazard for the nearby state. In this regard, a committee has been constituted by the government to augment landfill sites, one each at Simpu and Karsimsa. I propose to allocate an amount of rupees 6 crore this year for development of external infrastructure for this purpose. There has been a long pending demand of the public for construction of a burial ground crematorium in important township areas. For this purpose, I allocate rupees 1 crore each for 3 townships initially in this year. There is a need to augment public infrastructure in twin capital city. Transport department will be procuring mini buses for the twin capital this year. Under the Smart City program, such buses will be fitted with GPS so that the buses reach the bus stops at the designated time. Apart from that, I propose to allocate an additional amount of 10 crore for procurement of new buses in transport department. During the last tenure, one of the most important initiatives of our government has been getting the Ulungi Airport sanctioned by the Government of India. Land for the same has been acquired and handed over to Airport Authority of India. will put all-out efforts to facilitate state-of-the-art airport in Itanagar, which will fly both national and international flights. We are committed to undertake peripheral works of the Hulungi Airport in a time-bound manner to complete the project within 3 years. I propose to allocate rupees 30 crore for external infrastructure development of Hulungi Airport as per the Government of India's commitment. Our state also has huge potential in inland waterways. Inland waterways can be effectively used as an alternative means for transportation for public and cargo. Government of India has a scheme which provides 100% grants for development of inland water transport in all the states, which includes survey and studies, water development, terminal facilities, navigation, aids, etc. We will approach the Government of India to take up the survey of major rivers in our state in this year. Ministry of Railways, Government of India is planning to invest massively in our state. Out of the 8 railway line projected in our state, preliminary survey for the 3 railways lines, Bhalokpung, Tenga, Tawang, North Lakhimpur, Bame, Alo, Silapathar, and the Pasighat, Roing, Teju, Parsuram Kund, Rupai has already been completed. We will provide all possible support to the Union Government to ensure that all such projects get completed in due time. For this purpose, we will form a high-power committee to ensure that all land acquisition issues and clearances are granted well in time. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the Government of India has given a target to provide drinking water to all by 2020. We propose to provide drinking water to all habitation before the stipulated deadline. We will be covering all these schemes, converging all the schemes of Government of India and state government to achieve the same. Over and above the normal allocation of the Department of Public Health, Engineering and Water Supply, I propose to allocate 100 crore for the same. Last year, we had announced a pilot project for solar power-operated smart drinking water purification system and multi-village composite water supply scheme to cover 964 habitation at Jia Bolong Bukam area. 50% of the project been completed. I propose to complete the project within this year and allocate rupees 17.73 crore. Last year, we had announced to provide drinking water to RGU through innovative pumping technology. We plan to complete the project within this year. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 16 crore in the current finance. To provide water for all, there is an urgent need for considering all options, including harnessing rainwater to nurture water conservation and groundwater recharge in our state. This will also popularize the micro-irrigation industry. Also, Niti Aayog has been in all the states for taking up water harvesting as a mass movement. In this regard, I propose to take up rainwater harvesting in 3 water deficit villages in the TCL region as a pilot project by earmarking an allocation of rupees 5 crore. This year, we will lay emphasis on development of water bodies like lakes and wasteland in the state. Last year, Water Resource Department had implemented few innovative schemes of the multi-purpose in nature for water conservation, irrigation, fishery and tourism development at places like Jiro and Jolong. Looking at its success, the department has developed a comprehensive plan for taking up 48 number of new and innovative water conservation multi-purpose projects in the state. We will initially take 20 such projects and propose to complete them in a period of 2 years. We propose to allocate rupees 25 crore for the same in this financial year. We also plan to rejuvenate dying streams which are critical for drinking water supply and irrigation in phased manner by means of recharging the catchment areas using rainwater harvesting techniques. An amount of rupees 5 crore is proposed to be earmarked for construction of rainwater harvesting and recharge is to revive 20 numbers of drying streams. The schemes will be implemented after obtaining feasible proposals from the Deputy Commissioner. Ministry of Power had launched two important schemes to provide electricity to all households in the country, with Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gram Jyoti Yojana and Saubhagya. Under Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana, we have electrified all the villages in our state and provided household connection to roughly 20,000 families in both off-grid and on-grid mode. Under the Saubhagya schemes, we have given target to energize roughly 43,520 households. We are pleased to announce that we have achieved the target and now 100% households in our state have been energized under these schemes. We compliment the efforts of the Power Department in achieving the desired result in a short span of We will also be conducting Saubhagya Rath Yatras to ensure that no household is left out from the benefit of getting electricity. There is a very ambitious scheme of Government of India, comprehensive scheme for strengthening the transmission and distribution system to provide reliable and stable power connectivity to all the districts of Arunachal. Under the scheme, Jiro, Dapoijo, Alo, Pasighat, Roing, Teju and Namsai have been connected through 132 kV line. However, there are many areas where we require downstream missing links of 33 kV and 11 kV lines to connect with the infrastructure created under the said schemes. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 10 crore. During the last financial year, Power Department collected rupees 282.28 crore of the revenue as compared to rupees 130 crore in 2017-18. We endeavor to increase this year's revenue by more than 100 crore. To achieve the same, we plan to designate Electric Inspectorate as a separate commercial zone of Power Department. We propose to strengthen the same to deal with revenue, billing and realization, energy withdrawal, scheduling, power trading, etc., for which an initial allocation of rupees 2 crore is earmarked. We also plan to procure software to computerize electricity billing, online payment system, and SMS services, for which I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore this year. One of the major problems faced in our township is lack of street light. This leads to antisocial activities and leads to public inconvenience. We will plan to strengthen the street lighting system in all the urban townships by way of erecting more street lights and replacing halogen lights with energy efficient LED lighting. I propose to allocate rupees 20 crore for this purpose. There are a lot of 33 by 11 kV substations which are in dire need of repair and renovation. To begin with, we want to work on Chandranagar, Naharlagan, Nijuli, Teju, Namsai, Seppa and Khonsa. I propose to allocate rupees 3 crore for the major renovation of such substations. Now our next target is to provide affordable, reliable and cheap electricity to all. I am happy to inform this August House that during the last financial year, we have distributed 6.70 lakhs of subsidized LED bulbs to the people of the state, resulting in huge power saving and equivalent to 10 megawatt under Ujala program. This year, it is targeted to distribute another 3 lakhs energy efficient LED bulbs, for which I propose to allocate rupees 90 lakhs. We plan to provide solar power plants in all the district buildings. We have already covered 6 districts so far. I propose 46 numbers of 25 kilowatt solar power plants during the current financial year to cover the balance left over districts administrative building, for which rupees 4 crore is earmarked. During the last financial year, Hydropower Department generated about 60 million units of power which was transferred to the Power Department for the consumer of the state. We had commissioned para hydropower projects, which has recently inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. We are expecting to commission Dixie hydropower projects by the end of 2019. There are 15 numbers of small hydro projects being 25.3 megawatt of capacity are being put for full utilization of their capacity, as there is no grid connection or sustainable evacuation system. Some key important projects which are underutilized due to lack of grid connection are Dongkhorong MSS, Pasa Hydel Station, CP's SHP, Dulom MSS, Yum Koro MSS, Pinto Koro MSS, Kamba MSS, Angong Nala, Awapani MSS, etc. Therefore, I propose to provide grid connection and sustainable evacuation system to such small hydel projects during this year, for which 10 crore has been earmarked. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, our state has taken major leaps forward under information technology sector. Some of the key initiatives of the IT department are e-ILP, M-Helpline, e-Office, e-Cabinet, Secretariat Wi-Fi, Jivan Praman, CP Grams, e-Jam, NSP, etc. Last year, we had started the important program of e-Office in Secretariat. We plan to implement e-Office in all the departments under APC. We propose to develop a state data center at a cost of rupees 5 crore this year. The specification will be worked out by IT department. We also plan to implement integrated financial management system in phase-wise manner in our state. The idea is to integrate all the treasuries, DDOs, finance planning and budget department for efficient financial planning. I propose to earmark rupees 5 crore this year for this purpose. Last year we had launched Arunachal monitoring application. It is mandatory for every department to enter details in Arunachal monitoring application for infrastructural projects. Finance department will not release funds if the project is not geo-tagged on Arunachal monitoring application. Another major area of concern in our state is poor telecommunication infrastructure in our state. IT department will bring policy to enhance communication network in remote areas by incentivizing private mobile operators, BSNL, for setting up towers in such areas. Government spaces will also be provided to mobilize mobile operators free of cost in such remote districts which are not having reliable mobile connectivity. We are going to introduce state-of-the-art mobile digital information info education theater, which will exhibit educational films, programs, and interactive government governance engagement. Initially, we will introduce such mobile digital theaters in 5 districts, which are Pasighat, Jiro, Namsai, Kulumkume, and Tawang. We will form district entertainment societies which will maintain the mobile theaters and generate their own revenue. I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore for the same. Land Management Department has developed software for destination of land record in collaboration with NIC. Once implemented, this will provide huge relief to our farmers who find it difficult to get loans from bank. I propose to allocate rupees 2 crore for taking up the project in this year. In order to expand financial inclusion and cover all unbanked block of the state, a subsidy of rupees 1 lakh will be provided for establishment of customer service points. By this way, we will ensure that there is no block which remains unbanked in our state. A sum of rupees 1 crore is earmarked for this purpose. Our goal is to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, sustainably manage forests, and halt and reverse land degradation and biodiversity loss. office building of the PCCF at Itanagar is very old one and is not sufficient to cater to the present day requirement of the department. It has been a long pending demand of the department to construct a modern state-of-the-art green building by dismantling the old structure. I propose to construct a new building for office of PCCF and allocate Rs 5 crore this year for starting the project. Talking about ex situ conservation practices, biological park is one of the important tools for the education and awareness on conservation practices of wild and urban dwellers. The only biological park in Itanagar needs utmost attention in terms of infrastructure. A sum of Rs 2 crore is earmarked for construction of new enclosures, maintenance of existing enclosures, and maintaining hygienic environment. Issues. We are launching Clean Green Arunachal campaign wherein we envisage to plant 1 crore trees in next 5 years. Under the program, we will also be planting trees alongside our national highways and state highways. The campaign will be spearheaded by deputy commissioners and divisional officers and will witness participation of all key stakeholders like community-based organizations, women welfare groups, NSS, NGOs, etc. I propose to allocate Rs 4 crore for the campaign this year. Under the restructured National Bamboo Mission, Government of India has sanctioned Rs 25 crore under this scheme. We will utilize it judiciously to ensure this sector booms in the coming years. In the past 1.5 decades, the population of state has grown tremendously. The State Population Control Board also needs to update its reports from time to time to Honorable National Green Tribunal, Central Pollution Control Board, and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in the matter of population, pollution and data submission. To enhance the air quality monitoring system in the state, I propose to establish and operate 5 more air quality monitoring stations in populous townships in our state. I propose to allocate Rs 1 crore for the same. Majority of the population live in the rural areas and are dependent on primary activities for their livelihood and sustenance. Hence, one of our priorities is to provide basic facility to the rural population. Rural housing is therefore high on the agenda of our government. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we have a commitment to provide housing for all population living below poverty line by 2022. The state has a target to cover 11,221 beneficiaries under PMAY, out of which 1,665 beneficiaries have been covered till now. The scheme provides Rs 1.30 lakhs to each household to construct their dwelling houses. The amount is not sufficient to construct as the cost of building material is very high in our state. We have decided to introduce a new scheme, namely Chief Minister's Rural Housing Schemes, through which state government will provide a top-up of Rs 50,000 to each eligible beneficiary. We will be taking up the target to complete 7,500 houses this year. I propose to allocate Rs 50 crore for this scheme this year. We will ensure that such households are also provided with a free gas connection under Prime Minister Ujjwala Yojana. We had launched Chief Minister Adarsh Gram Yojana in which one village was identified in its constituency. Fund of Rs 1.5 crore was provided for giving all basic amenities in the village. We have received encouraging response from the villages. I propose to allocate Rs 60 crore this year for this scheme. Our government has set an ambitious target to end all forms of poverty in the by 20. Due to the lack of real information on manpower potential of the state, many formulation of schemes related to providing a decent job or livelihood to growing young population of the state is becoming difficult. Therefore, as a part of providing a decent job or livelihood to all, we plan to conduct a manpower survey in collaboration with Institute of Rural Management, Anand. This will enable us to focus on our strengths and weaknesses in terms of manpower availability in the state and meet the aspirations of the state. I propose to allocate 1 crore for this purpose. To generate rural self-employment, there is a need to form sustainable self-help groups and train them adequately for taking livelihood activities. Arunachal Pradesh Rural Livelihood Mission is playing a pivotal role in forming and strengthening self-help groups. Arunachal Pradesh Rural Livelihood Mission is running two important central sector schemes, which are Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission and Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. Under Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission, we have formed and trained 1,076 number of self-help groups and opened more than 2,000 savings banks accounts. We want to strengthen the performing of self-help groups in our state so that the rural economy thrives on its own. For this purpose, District Planning Board will select 5 best performing self-help groups in each district and shall give 1 lakh to such self-help group for carrying out income generating activities. I propose to allocate rupees 1.30 crore for the same, which will be used as seed money for the self-help groups. Arunachal Pradesh Rural Livelihood Mission, in collaboration with the National Institute of Rural Development, has trained 21 self-help group members for the rural homestay. I propose to provide a subsidy of rupees 5 lakh each to such beneficiaries for setting up quality rural homestay, for which I propose to allocate 1.05 crore this year. The State Institute of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj was established in the year 1993-94. With the changing of time and condition, there is a need to strengthen the institution to take up its mandated activities. This year, we will be filling up all the vacant posts of SIRT. Further, to improve the infrastructure, I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for SIRT. I also propose to allocate an amount of rupees 5 crore for providing waste bins to villages and 2.5 crore for vermicompost for segregating and disposing waste in 75 pilot villages in the state as per direction of Honorable LGT. Under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, 31,447 beneficiaries were provided LPG connection to the people below poverty line as a measure of relief to women who toil for firewood every day. A subsidy of rupees 1,600 per household is being given by the Government of India. State government is providing additional top-up of subsidy of rupees 1,000 to each BPL household. I propose to earmark rupees 3 crore under the scheme this year. Our state has huge potential in natural resources which needs to be tapped sustainably. We have rich reserves of coal, limestone, petroleum products, dolomite, etc. I propose to e-auction 2 blocks of mining of Rupa dolomite and Kalaktang quartzite blocks with an allocation of rupees 75 lakhs. As reported in the Geological Surveys of India, finding good quality of limestone is present in and around Menga area of Upper Subansiri. I propose to take up regional investigation with borehole drilling of limestone in and around of Menga area, Upper Subansiri district, Arunachal Pradesh, by allocating a sum of rupees 1.25 crore. Geological Survey of India had undertaken preliminary survey of iron ore in around Laki, Gramin and Yamcha area of West Siang district. I propose to undertake a detailed exploration of iron ore in the same region. I propose to allocate a sum of rupees 1.50 crore to take up this survey. Our lone coal field, that is Namchik Namphu coalfield, Kharsang, has been shut down due to order of Honorable Supreme Court. The lessee has been directed to pay Rupees 32 crore to Ministry of Coal, Government of India. To revive the coal field, I propose to allocate Rupees 32 crore as interest-free loan to AP Arunachal Pradesh Mineral Development Trading Corporation Limited for payment of additional levy to coal controller. This payment will be repaid to the state government from sale of coal in due course. It is our endeavor to ensure public access to information and protect fundamental freedom in accordance with national legislation and international agreement. We plan to institute scholarship of Rs 2 lakhs per student for 20 students to pursue masters in mass communication, journalism from the top 10 universities in India. I propose to allocate Rs 40 lakhs for this purpose. The media is considered to be the fourth pillar of the democracy. The Arunachal government recognizes the essential role of journalists working in the state for their contribution towards the development of the society. The state government has decided to provide them financial support by introducing the Arunachal Pradesh pension scheme for journalists from this year. This scheme will benefit those journalists who have attained the age of 60 years and retired as journalists as their principal vocation. The IPR department will frame necessary guidelines in this regard. I propose to allocate 1 crore for the same. We plan to organize mass media campaigns throughout the state. The main objective of the campaign will be to disseminate information on central and state government schemes to grassroots level through Arunachal Rising campaign. I propose to allocate Rs 3 crore for the purpose. We will also organize 3-day Arunachal Literary Festival 2019. I propose to allocate Rs 1.5 crore for this purpose. Considering the need of a well-equipped and spacious press club building to cater to the long-felt need and demand of the media fraternity. Last year, we had kept Rs 5 crore for acquisition of land and construction of press club building. However, the press club requires additional infrastructure for which I propose to allocate Rs 3.25 crore this year. We will also be strengthening preventive vigilance in our state. All the departments shall put in their website and details of all the senior officers as well as the manner in which the public grievances can be redressed. All the departments shall also put notice board with the above information in their office premises. There is an urgent need for a mechanism to regulate the larger labor population. We need to strengthen the regulatory system of entry and exit at every point of Arunachal Pradesh. This involves in development of tracking ILPs, digitization of data, connecting this data with the crime and criminal tracking network and system structure, and developing a system of SMS notification when there is any breach of the mechanism. We will form a multi-stakeholder committee of labor, police, information and technology, industries and political department under the chairmanship of Home Minister to deal with illegal migration from problem in the state. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, to ensure peaceful and inclusive societies, rule of law should be enforced at all times, which necessitates modern and enable law enforcement agencies. We are committed to ensure that public order is maintained in the society and all communities live together harmoniously in our state. Police should not only enforce rule of law but also increase the public confidence by constantly engaging with them. In pursuit of transforming it to a state-of-the-art police force, we have prepared a comprehensive plan to upgrade the police infrastructure in our Arunachal Pradesh Police is pioneering a campaign called Hamara Arunachal Abhiyan that targets to educate and eradicate the evils of modern society. Under the mission, the police department will collaborate with CBOs, common public, peer leaders, youth and students, organizations, and for taking up issues that are plaguing the society. The main motto of Hamara Arunachal Abhiyan is to take Arunachal a crime-free zone, to rebuild Arunachal as a peaceful and serene state, and to regain the lost glory of Island of Peace. I would seek cooperation from all our legislators in making the campaign inclusive and successful. To promote the efficacy of our police force, we need to train them, equip them, and strengthen them. We also need to provide them with an environment where they can function without discrimination to the best of their ability. To ensure an efficient and professional police force, we plan to increase the training capacity of PTC Bandardua from 550 to 1,000 trainees from the next year. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore in this financial year. To ensure the quality of training, we will be tying up with the premier police academies across the country, including Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy, Hyderabad. There is an urgent need of modernization of police force with state-of-the-art anti-riot surveillance, mobility, and other equipment. We are focusing on procuring non-lethal equipments which will act as a deterrent during any law and order situation. We propose to allocate rupees 30 crore for procurement of such equipment. We also need to strengthen the police communication network system in our state, which is all-weather, robust and reliable. We will be setting up massive network of repeater stations to ensure that there is seamless connectivity between the police forces across the state. In the recent time, we have observed spurt of cyber crimes within our state. With the advent of information technology, cyber crimes are bound to increase. We propose to establish cyber crime cell in the police department, for which an amount of rupees 2 crores is allocated. For augmenting mobility of the forces, an amount of 2 crore is also allocated. To strengthen and intensify our security initiative in the UG-infested district of Tirap, Changlang and Long, I propose to allocate rupees 8.5 crore. To strengthen the policing structure in TCL region, we will also be posting a DIG at Khonsa. We need to augment the housing infrastructure for our police personnel. There is a lot of movement of paramilitary forces in Itanagar capital complex who find it very difficult to stay here due to lack of police barracks. We will be taking up the construction of 300 capacity RCC barracks with all facilities at PTC Bandardua and BN Complex Chimpu. For this purpose, I propose to allocate rupees 3 crore each in this financial year. There is a huge problem in traffic congestion in twin capital city of Itanagar and Naharlagan. We will create a new DSP traffic cell for Itanagar and provide it with manpower and necessary towing vehicles, locks. I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for this purpose. We will also operationalize 3 notified police stations at Gauhpur, Bihar and this year. I propose to allocate rupees 3 crore in this financial year. In our state, there are 21 notified women police stations where only 2 are functioning. The other 19 are being constructed. We plan to replicate Maharashtra model under which trained social workers will be hired in such police stations where there is increase in crime rates against women and child. The trained social worker will lead a more coordinated, coherent and in-depth response to the issue by integrating quality psychosocial, legal services within the police system. In the first phase, this model will be implemented in 5 police stations across this. During the winter session, our state witnessed a lot of fire incidents, especially in the market areas. There is a need to improve mobile fire tenders and equipment in all the major townships of our state. I propose to allocate rupees 5 crore for procurement of fire tenders and other equipment. Criminal justice system in the state cannot improve if justice is not delivered in a free and fair manner. Our state has a lag behind in separation of judiciary from executive by many years. Till 2000, district magistrates used to function as district and session judge too. Even now, we have few districts where executive magistrates exercise judicial function. Thus, there is an urgent need for construction of requisite judicial infrastructure facilities in the state. I therefore propose to allocate an amount of rupees 5 crore for construction of High Court building and rupees 10 crore for upgradation and construction of new judicial infrastructure for this financial year. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we are committed to strengthen the district administration and boost bottom-up approaches in the planning process. This year, we have received several innovative and important proposals from various deputy commissioners which have been incorporated in the budget. We had prepared a first human development report for the state in 2005. More than a decade has elapsed since the publication of the first state human development report, and the second state human development report of the state is long overdue. Therefore, Finance, Planning and Investment Department, Government of Arunachal Pradesh, will prepare the second state human development report in collaboration with UNDP and OKD, Institute of Social Change and Development, Guwahati, Assam. We propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for the same. We will revamp the monitoring structure of schemes being implemented by Government of India and state government. We will establish a project monitoring and implementation unit in planning department of the state, which will house consultants, engineers and domain experts for monitoring and progress of various schemes. For this purpose, I allocate rupees 5 crore this year. Last year, we had launched a flagship scheme called Sarkar Aapke Dwar, where we had provided governance at the doorstep of the people. Through this scheme, we were able to provide government services to more than 3 lakh citizens. We plan to continue with the scheme this year too and propose to allocate rupees 8 crore this year. Our government has constituted Arunachal Pradesh Staff Selection Board, which has the mandate of recruiting all Group C officials. This will ensure the vacancies are filled up in a transparent manner. We also plan to start new training and leadership program for e-services mid-career government officers at the level of collaboration with premier institutions like Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie, National Institute of Administrative Reforms, etc. I propose to earmark rupees 5 crore for this purpose. Implementation and on-site deliverance of the infrastructure project. It is important to strengthen the capacity of our engineers and contractors. Therefore, I propose to allocate rupees 1 crore for compulsory training of the engineers and contractors as per project requirement. We need to strengthen the district administration so that our officers are motivated to work on field and deliver public services in remotest corner of the state. Our young IPCS entry grade officers are manning different administrative circles and facing harsh living conditions. They are not even having basic infrastructure, including vehicles, to move on field. We plan to provide 6.5 lakhs to each entry grade officers for purchase of vehicles on their own. The vehicles will belong to the concerned officer who will use it for official purpose. The necessary guidelines will be framed by the Department of Finance Plan Investment in this. I propose to earmark rupees 10 crore in this regard. Last year we had sanctioned 8 proposals under Chief Minister's District Innovation and Challenge Fund. I propose to continue with the scheme this year with an allocation of 40 crore.